instruments. A woman suffering from lockjaw is recovering slowly. We have eased her pain. There is more than gratitude in her eyes. There is also a question. This is an experience I have had over and over. A patient will take my hand and say in wonder as well as relief, "I have no more pain." I tell him then that it was the Lord Jesus who sent the doctor to him, and the Lord Jesus who took the pain away. As midday approaches, the heat becomes oppressive. I find it best to pay no attention to it. That's why there are no weather thermometers at the hospital. If we knew how hot it was, maybe we wouldn't be able to stand it. Every day at noon, ration time is announced. All those patients who are not bedridden are called to come for their provisions. They assemble at our storehouse where a nurse checks off their names as they receive food: bananas, rice, manioc, and palm oil according to the season. If we are not careful, some will go through the ration line again and again. This is not dishonesty. The African Negro, the child of nature, is a casual man. He is casual about material things and casual about work. In return for very little of his labor, nature repays him with most of the necessities of life. Beyond that, if he takes what does not belong to him, it is not because he is a thief, but because he feels whatever is his. From morning until late at night, cooking pots surround the fires in front of the wards. The women of each family cook for their own. A native will not eat food prepared by someone outside the family. This is because of the poisonings that still occur if families who are feuding share a common kitchen. Nature of women. Sitting by her fire, a woman who cannot read is leafing through a fashion magazine that has somehow fallen into her hands. She is not convinced. Our large garden extends along the river. In the rainy season, much of it is underwater. So much soil is carried away that after the floods, we have a big job replenishing what is left. Our best source of fertilizer is our goats. Year after year, we have worked continuously to create a Garden of Eden around the hospital. We now have enough fruit trees growing here that all can take what they please, and there is no longer such a crime as stealing. Under the direction of a nurse, 2 cooks who have been with us for many years prepare lunch in the staff kitchen. The big old-fashioned brick cook stove, built by one of the nurses, has a good oven for baking bread. Every day, meals are prepared for about 25 people and often more.
Nous voulons bien qu'il règne dans nos cœurs.
On my way to my room, I come upon a wounded chameleon, just in time to save him from Lisi. His injured tail will not prevent him from taking care of himself out of her reach. Two o'clock. Every day at this time, able-bodied inhabitants of the community are called back to work. All too slowly, they assemble in front of my house. Hospital inmates who are expected to work include primarily the men and women who are here as companions of patients. We maintain them as well as the patients, and so I feel they should do their part. Although these men know little about the Bible, they are fond of quoting one phrase from it. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread. They say it is so hot they sweat whether they work or not, so why work? After we distribute tools, more slowly than ever, our workers go off to their jobs. The riverboat arrives, bringing us a shipment of lumber from a sawmill downstream and other building material for the leper village. It's the signal for everyone who can to come to the embarcadero to help in the unloading. We depend for everything that we don't make or grow at the hospital on these monthly visits of the regular Ogowe River boat.
We have plenty of strong arms and backs at Lamborghini, but the problem of finding skilled workers has always concerned me. From time to time, I have been able to train patients to assist me in carpentry work, but usually as soon as they are well, they move on. Yet somehow the work gets done. You don't have to go far to be in the depths of the jungle. A narrow path leads from the hospital about a third of a mile to the leper village, where building is in progress.
It's a big job, enlarging the site on the crest of a hill. Because of the storms, no trees can be left standing that might fall on buildings. With a heavy heart, I have to sacrifice a palm. Primitive methods are used to break up the heavy rocks on the site. The stone is heated with a brush fire. When cold water is thrown over it, it cracks from the force of rapid contraction and can easily be broken with a crowbar. With protective bandages on their legs, these patients break up the stones so badly needed for making concrete. We do not use the most modern methods in our work at Lamborghini. Modern equipment is expensive and shipping costs are high. Complicated machinery is difficult to maintain in this weather. Most importantly, I have not wanted to introduce these simple people to techniques and tools upon which they might learn to depend and which would be unavailable to them when they return to their own communities.
During my life, I have had to devote much time to construction. 30 years ago, I built most of the hospital buildings as they stand today. For some years afterward, I was only incidentally concerned with construction work. But now I am at it again.
It has become necessary to build a new village for the lepers who have swarmed here in recent years. Since 1944, we have been treating our leprosy patients with new sulfur drugs, a great advance in the treatment of this terrible disease. There is now a possibility of curing leprosy. It may take from 1.5 to 2.5 years, and these people must stay with us for the length of the cure. We are, at present, treating more than 250 lepers. Up until now, they have been living in bamboo huts, which they built themselves.
These houses have now outlived their usefulness.
The new buildings rest on concrete foundations, 6 to 12 rooms in a row, each with its corresponding kitchen. The wood we build with is from the very hard okume tree. It is so hard that an auger is necessary to drill the holes where nails will be driven. It is the most common wood here, and it is impervious to the destructive termites. Once the framework of the walls is erected, a lattice of bamboo is prepared over which shingles of palm leaves are attached, then woven and bound on with raffia. When these walls, consisting of several layers of leaves, are protected from contact with the moist soil by a concrete foundation and from the rain by an iron roof, they last for years and are easy to replace when necessary.
Ça il fait parler. Et...
We have planned our buildings to provide lasting shelter at the lowest cost.
Now I am able to roof all my buildings with iron, thanks to the money I received for the Nobel Peace Prize.
As soon as the new quarters are finished, the lepers move in with all their belongings. How they enjoy their new homes. During the wet season, at least once a day, all outside work comes to a stop because of the tornadoes. With almost no warning, they overtake us.
On my way back to the hospital, I come upon a group of women cleaning out underbrush. I urge them to stop working. Everyone seeks shelter from the coming storm. I have learned by experience that these people are much more susceptible to colds than we are. They should not get wet, but still they take their time.
brotherhood of those who bear the mark of pain. Who are the members of this brotherhood? Those who have learned by experience what physical pain and bodily anguish mean belong together all the world over. They are united by a secret bond. One and all, they know the horrors of suffering to which man can be exposed. And one and all, they know the longing to be free from pain. He who has been delivered from pain must not think he is now free again and at liberty to take up life just as it was before, entirely forgetful of the past. Now he is a man whose eyes are opened with regard to pain and anguish. And he must help others to overcome this pain and this anguish, as far as human power can overcome them, and bring to others the deliverance which he himself has received. One must be careful not to mix himself up uninvited in other people's business. On the other hand, one must not forget the danger lurking in the reserve which daily life forces on all of us. We cannot let ourselves get frozen into regarding everyone we do not know as an absolute stranger. No man is ever completely a stranger to his fellow man. Man belongs to man. Man has claims on man. Our reserve is condemned to be broken down by the claims of the heart. And thus all of us get into a position where we must reach out and to one of our fellow men become ourselves a man.
A day at Lamborghini ends. Late in the evening, Dr. Schweitzer returns to his room. In it, there are a desk, some books, and his old piano. These are all he needs to carry on his work in philosophy, theology, and music. Work that may never be finished because there are claims on his heart.